Hi everyone. My name is Jenna Schulman. I do not have my video on because I'm actually on a car ride home. I'm not driving, but I am somehow doing this on a cell phone and still watching it. So praying for Wi-Fi the whole time. I'm so happy to introduce Caro Mercado of Bucknell University, who will be talking all things Bucknell for the next hour. And part of her presentation is going to be, about academics, student life, and then the other half will be, as always, answering your questions that I will be monitoring. And so definitely send them our way. I know we have a lot of questions, due to everything going on right now in the pandemic and what's going on with next fall and college admissions in general and test optional and all those great questions, even though Bucknell is ahead of its curve with test optional. So without further ado, I would like to hand things over to Caro.
Thanks, Jenna. Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me this evening, where I can just share some great information about Bucknell University, and I'm delighted to virtually welcome you to campus. It may interest you to know that we are actually conducting in-person preview sessions as well. So much of what you'll learn tonight is what we are also doing recently this summer in introducing prospective students to Bucknell. So if you do find yourself heading towards Central PA, I certainly would encourage you and welcome you to register for one of our in-person sessions. We'd love to see you on campus. So just by way of introduction, I serve as an Associate Dean for Admissions as well as Director of Partnerships.
Caro, I just have to interrupt you. I think your microphone is very glitchy. I thought that was just me, but then someone actually chatted it in the box. It's like, kind of sounds like you're underwater. No, I don't really hear you at all.
My apologies. Let me see.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, is that better?
Yep, I thought it was maybe just my service as I was in the car, but I think that's better. If anyone says otherwise, send it over to the chat.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I do have I have a little exclamation point saying my speaker's not working, but I did check it right before I began. But if you can hear me okay, just let me know, okay?
Okay. Yeah, it's in and out. I think like when you maybe depending on where you're positioned, it sounds good, and then other times it's a little bit more muffled.
Oh, and I came to campus specifically so that I wouldn't have any internet issues.
No, okay. I think you're good.
Okay, yeah, great.
We'll get through it.
All right, my apologies, folks, and bear with us. The wonders of the internet, you can never rely on it. But as I was just sharing, I also serve as the Director of Partnerships at Bucknell, which basically means I work with some great charter schools and community-based organizations and oversee some really terrific scholarship programs for terrific students who come to Bucknell. So really my video session today is just to share with you, as Jenna mentioned, an overview of our academic programs, our co-curricular programs, share with you a little bit about some of the unique features of Bucknell, and then we'll also share with you what our application process will be looking like, not only for this coming year, but moving into the future. And certainly, as Jenna also mentioned, with COVID-19 and its uncertainty, we are working diligently to ensure that students that will be coming to campus this fall will be safe, and that's our primary goal and purpose. So I'm saying that some folks are still having a hard time hearing me, and I regret that. Fortunately, I don't have another computer that I could possibly switch to. So let's try and see how much we can get through. Just to start out, Bucknell is we consider a unique and comprehensive university, and in part because it's unique in terms of its size. It boasts 3,600 graduate students, but when you think of all the things that we feature as a comprehensive university, I think what's really cool about it is that it It features not only the traditional liberal arts foundation, but also pre-professional programs. So I'm understanding folks are still having a hard time hearing me. So
You're much better now.
yeah,
But if
is
it
it?
happens again, I'll try to cut you off and then maybe you can like call through the phone or something. But it's better now. Maybe something with how you're sitting.
Okay, all right. So as I was saying, Bucknell features three particular colleges, academic colleges. Our largest college, let me just move our slide. Is our College of Arts and Sciences, which represents about 60% of our student body. And it houses your traditional departments that really represent the liberal arts. And so presently we offer over 65 different majors that students can choose and 55 minors. And so I think one of the key aspects of our College of Arts and Sciences is what I call interdisciplinarity. And normally when I have students in front of me, I always ask them what that means. And it really just means that it is shared disciplines. The curriculum that is taught here at Bucknell is really about a global education and thus inviting students to really learn on a global scale about multiple disciplines. And so with that, students really find it easy to double major minor in our College of Arts and Sciences. It's also a great place if students are interested in doing research. We find that our students typically in the first year will oftentimes partner with our faculty to do research, and it's not uncommon to have our students already published authors by the time they graduate. And so when you think about that, that's typically what you see in a larger institution and also in an institution that offers graduate programs. So here we are doing it at the undergraduate level, and you don't need to be a student, let's say, in the physical sciences or in STEM programs. You can do research in just about every topic. So if your interest runs from, let's say, your traditional sciences, biology, physics, geology, all the way to the traditional humanities of religion, philosophy, education, music performance, students are able to combine those areas of study to create some really cool dual majors. And I think that that is one of the hallmarks of our College of Arts and Sciences. So moving on to our second college, which is the College of Engineering. This is our second largest college with 8 distinctive majors that students can choose from. The first being probably one of our smallest yet competitive majors, which is biomedical engineering, a really interesting arena that students are finding fascinating and really wanting to pursue here at Bucknell. And we typically bring in about 24 students in that particular program, which keeps it really small, and our faculty want to keep it small. We also offer chemical, civil, computer science and engineering, electrical, environmental, and mechanical. And so one of the nice features of our College of Engineering is that students have the opportunity, again, to work directly with our faculty in doing research. We have 3 makeries, which are spaces that are really like think tanks that students can go in and tinker. It was really cool. One year, I got to witness our students making miniature robots and showing prospective students how they went about doing that, which was really cool. The other neat thing about this college is it offers this class for our first year students called Engineering 100. And Engineering 100 allows students the opportunity to pursue 3 particular majors within engineering, allowing students to not only explore, but also try to understand what makes them what they are. So you can come into Bucknell, let's say, as a mechanical engineer, but you also can learn about electrical engineering and chemical engineering in this particular class as an adjunct, so that you can decide, well, do I actually want to be a mechanical engineer? Or maybe I have more of an interest in chemical engineering. And so it's really designed to help you navigate engineering. I always call engineering kind of like the sexy major, because a lot of students think they know what goes into engineering, but not having had an engineering class, let's say, in high school, many are surprised at the extent of math and science that really goes into an engineering major. The other thing that I like to share with students is that, one of the things that our engineers on campus like to do is involve students in practical learning. So it's not atypical to see students on work sites with their faculty learning about how engineering works on site. In fact, in Lewisburg right now, we are undergoing a major build, which is linking a highway here in central Pennsylvania. And so this is something that's been in the planning for years. And our faculty are actually serving as consultants, and students are interning on site and learning directly from the engineers who are building this bypass that will soon link two features of a highway and bypassing basically a community road. So it's a really cool opportunity that our students have been able to see and undertake during their undergraduate year. The other
Carol,
thing,
before you go into like the next school or anything, everyone unfortunately can't hear you, and I don't want anyone to miss. So do you think you could just call from your phone? I think I gave you I think I have a dial-in number in the email, hopefully.
Okay, let me just see if I can bring that up. Give me 1 second. I'm really sorry. I thought this would work just great.
All good. It happens. We're living in these weird virtual times.
I know, right? Never be 100%.
And someone, I actually can step in and answer. Computer science is in the school. Oh, someone asked if computer science is in the School of Engineering or Arts and Sciences.
Both. So we have a computer science program in arts and sciences, and we do have one in engineering. And so the way that we distinguish that is that the one that's housed in arts and sciences is more programming based, whereas the one in engineering is more hardware based. In order for me to get it done, I'd have to log out and open up my email. Give me 1 second, see if I can do that.
I could try to find this dial-in.
Here. All right, just brought it up. So let me bring it up on my phone.
Oh, yep, there's the dial-in. Perfect.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. You have not entered the number.
Thank you, everyone, for waiting patiently.
Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue. You have entered the meeting as a panelist. Attendees can now hear you speak.
Okay.
So do I need to mute then the phone on my computer?
Maybe, but no, I think you're good. Now we can't hear you. So whatever you just did was not, I think you should put the audio back on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, be right back with you folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. My apologies again. So as I was saying, one of the new features with our College of Engineering is that we are in the midst. We just created a new building for engineering. So Bucknell actually hosts 3 unique and distinctive academic buildings dedicated to engineering. And so our latest one has been LEED certified. It is state of the art. So again, students who elect to come in under engineering will have the benefit of working in tremendous labs as well as state of the art equipment. So, okay. Let me now turn to our 3rd college, which is the Freeman College of Management. And this is our youngest college, if you will. It used to be housed within our College of Arts and Sciences as the School of Management. And going on 4 years now, it's became its own college. And it's our smallest college, representing about 15% of our student body. But one of the things that I can say about our Freeman College of Management is that it is moving and shaking. Our newest dean, Dean Raquel Alexander, is very, very keen on ensuring that students who are earning their degrees in the Freeman College of Management are immersed in the best learning possible and the best training possible, so that when they graduate, they're going to have extraordinary careers and professional opportunities. And so with our Freeman College of Management, one of the things the reason it's called the Freeman College of Management, it was due to a generous donation by an alum who was also on our board of trustees, and he really wanted to see this college come to fruition. So he donated $25 million for its creation. So I guess that's how much it costs to have a building named after you. And so he wanted to ensure that students could have the same kind of experience he did as a student here, but also wanted to ensure that the college could be cutting edge in its programs. And so over the course of these past 3.5 years, we've seen this college grow tremendously just in terms of innovative majors that have been created. And so most recently, we've added 2 distinctive majors. One is business analytics, which really looks at data and how data helps informs companies on how they are performing in the marketplace. And most recently, for fall this year, we are opening up a major in organizations and management. And so if you think about organizational behavior and things related to understanding human resources within an enterprise and organization, this will be a new major that will allow students to delve into those arenas. Along with those, we offer accounting, finance. We have also a program in global management, which for students who might be interested in working abroad, this is a great major to focus in on. We also offer students a major called Managing for Sustainability. And for a lot of students, they think that this is really focused on environmental issues. And while that is a key component of this major, it actually helps organizations and businesses understand how they can remain relevant and sustainable into the next millennia, if you will. The last one is MIDI, which is Markets, Innovations, and Design. And so if your bent is towards the more creative parts of business, such as marketing, public relations, this would be an arena that you could definitely pursue. And I think, again, similar to Engineering 100, our College of Management also offers a course called Management 101, which for our first-year students, it's a required course. And basically what this does is provide students a learning practicum in which they actually create companies, make a design a perspective on how to sell a product, and basically create that product to earn money to donate to a nonprofit organization in our community. And so students are able to assume the roles that would be active within an organization, such as like a chief financial officer, a COO, a president, product manager, and then working as a team, they make these decisions. They create a product that they want to sell to the campus community and the local community to raise money to then donate to this public enterprise. And I can share with you just my own experience with that. I've had the opportunity to sit on the program board, basically to provide feedback to students to help them understand not only how to go about creating a product, but then also how does that product support the enterprise that they want to donate monies to. So that's a really, really unique course that the students get to benefit with hands-on learning and practicum. And there's some other really cool features that many of our students participate in, such as the Smith account, which basically allows students using Bucknell money to place in the marketplace, like Wall Street. They invest these monies, and ideally by the end of the year, the goal is for them to earn money back on Wall Street. And I'm happy to report that our students have been really, really successful at doing this. They've not lost any money in the process. So those are some quick details about our colleges. And so now let me switch gears and just talk a little bit about our community. And one of the things that I'd like to share about Bucknell is recognizing, again, that we are a comprehensive university, but one that recognizes and embraces where it's at. And so for many of you, I know being in New Jersey, you have access to places like New York City in your backyard, and you're probably thinking, well, what is there to do in a place like Central Pennsylvania? And I always comment that it may not be the most happening place in the world, but we have our virtues that we like to share with our students, and we really find that our students are never bored on campus. They actually get to participate in a lot of different activities, organizations, and enterprises that definitely expand what they're learning in the classroom. And so in our center photo here, you can see Anderson Cooper from CNN, distinguished silver hair correspondent, but he is representative of the kind of luminaries and scholars that we bring to our campus. He was here a few years ago to deconstruct the 2016 election, but also his message was to help students recognize the power of their vote and the power of their voice. And so one of the things that we like to remind students is that when you get to college, you have that opportunity to vote and to use that to help decide what our country is going to be facing into the future. And so certainly it's a message that we are encouraging students to partake in for this next fall's election. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is just, you can see the upper right-hand corner is featuring Soika Pavilion, which is our basketball venue where our men's and women's basketball teams play. And, you know, one of the things that we feature here at Bucknell is over 27 Division I NCAA athletics. And so, again, if you're a student who is playing competitively at your high school, you would have the opportunity to play in one of our many sports here at Bucknell. But we also offer students a variety of intramural and club sports, too, that are not maybe as competitive, but still allow you to continue playing those athletics. And so we like to say that we bleed orange and blue, which is our school colors. And so the photo that you're seeing is an orange out, basically as our means of intimidating our competitors. The other thing right below that you'll see is one of our campus traditions, which is called Battleship Canoe. And basically, our Clark Center, which is our Kenneth Langone Athletic Recreation Center, is the largest building in Lewisburg. And so we can base it on our campus, but it houses
tremendous athletic facilities, and this happens to be our natatorium, which is an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And this tradition invites students. It's an annual spring event wherein it's sort of like water Hunger Games. Students get to borrow canoes from our Outdoor Education Leadership Center. They battle with each other over the course of a weekend and basically try to sink each other's canoes, which is a lot of fun, and our faculty and staff get involved in the process as well. The other thing that is really core to Lewisburg is the arts. So again, if you have a passion for the arts, if you are a musician, a dancer, a singer, an actor, actress, that's something that you can pursue here at Bucknell too. Our Weiss Performance Center is a state-of-the-art environment performance venue wherein we bring in world-class performers to not only entertain you, but you also have the opportunity to perform there for your campus community and local community. And so this is something that we like to share with our community. And as I was mentioning, Lewisburg Central is also very artistic. We offer lots of different opportunities for students to engage in the arts. We have a robust arts program, and we actually have two galleries on our campus. One is featured in our Elaine Langone Center, which is our campus center, and students each spring get to showcase their capstone works. But we also have a gallery featured downtown, which allows not only our students and faculty to showcase their work, but also the local community. And last summer, one of the coolest exhibitions was actually a local one in which community members were invited to bring in articles that they thought were beautiful. And one of the objects that really caught my attention was a green glass bottle. And you would think there's nothing spectacular about that, but what made it really interesting was the story behind it and the fact that a person had been hiking in the Alps and had lost their water bottle and stopped by a village to ask if they could purchase another water bottle. And a local resident didn't have a water bottle to give them, but found this green bottle in their shed, washed it out, and filled it with natural spring water and gave it to the hiker. And I think that's just a really cool story around a simple object, just like a glass bottle. So again, that's a cool way that we like to share the arts with folks. So what you're seeing right now is just another aspect of a Bucknell education, which is service. So if you are someone who is involved in civic engagement at your schools, please know that that is also an active feature of Bucknell. We offer, this is a photo of our Bucknell Brigade in Costa Rica, and this group of students was helping not only to help out in construction, but they were also helping out in a medical facility. And so this is an alternate spring break activity that students get to partake in, which complements our regular study abroad programs. And so we offer students the opportunity to partake in over 500 different study away opportunities. Our special one is called the Bucknell In program, wherein our faculty actually construct the away program. We offer them in different countries like England, Greece, Spain, France, Ghana. We also offer them in the Caribbean. So again, these programs are really designed to afford students the opportunity to partake in a study away program while also being taught by Bucknell faculty. And so you can see that from the upper left-hand corner photo. And then lastly, let me just comment on our numerous student organizations. Again, one of the things that you often hear about Bucknell is the notion of community. We are very big on creating community and seek students who want to be engaged and involved in our community. And so we offer students over 150 different organizations that they can belong to, many of them featured in cultural, social, Greek life. If that is an area that you're interested in pursuing, know that we offer Greek life as well. Leadership, student government, you name it, there is a program for you. And if you find that there isn't, you can actually create one yourself. And so I was talking a little bit about Central PA, and again, one of the things that we like to encourage students to do as well is take advantage of our natural resources. We are less than a mile away from the Susquehanna River, which not only serves as a great recreation site for students to go tubing, kayaking, canoeing, you can actually swim in it, but also serves as a lab for our students involved in STEM programs. And so many of our faculty benefit and utilize that local resource to help them with their research. But you also have the benefit of mountains. And again, I mentioned our Outdoor Education Leadership Center, which can outfit you if you like to hike, if you like to go camping. We have multiple trails and opportunities close by to campus that invite you to disconnect and get involved with the great outdoors. We also might interest you to know is that we also this past year created our own farm on campus. And so again, serving as a living learning laboratory for students, students are encouraged to help with the planting, with the cultivation and harvesting of these plant produce that is donated actually to food banks in the area, but it also helps to feed our students in our dining hall. So it's a food-to-table model that we like to teach students and have them help practice while they're here. We also have our bookstore downtown, which many times parents will say to me, well, why is your bookstore downtown? Isn't that inconvenient for students to get their books and supplies? And again, one of the things that we like to promote is supporting local. You're part of a community when you come to college, and you become a community member. And how better to do that than supporting your local venues downtown and becoming a patron not only of the various restaurants and shops, but also just being someone who is active downtown. And you'll see the photo of our campus theater, which actually serves as a classroom for students in our film and media studies. So not only is it our theater in town where you can see first-run movies, but it also serves as a classroom. And one unique fact of it, it is one of the oldest existing Art Deco theaters in the country. It's over 75 years old and was renovated a few years ago, but it's still a cool place inside. So if you appreciate, again, the Art Deco movement and Art Deco architecture, you can actually see it inside and outside of the theater. So let's talk a little bit about where Bucknell education can take you. And so I want to just spotlight a few of our famous alums that graduated from Bucknell. And so the one I'm going to focus on is Bill Westenhofer. And the thing that I want you to note is, what did he get his degrees in? So he got his degree in computer science and engineering. And again, I mentioned earlier that this particular major focuses on engineering hardware that is related to computer science. But you'll also notice where he directed his skills, which is as a visual effects supervisor. He actually won 2 Oscars for the film The Life of Pi. And so if you're a fan of that movie, and you might be more familiar with the films of Percy Jackson films or maybe Wonder Woman, he was the visual effects supervisor for those films as well. And I think what I'm getting at is noting the interdisciplinarity of his major. Here he was an engineer, yet he is famous and working in the film industry. And so again, what that shares with you is just that notion of learning on a global scale so that your degree is not just pigeonholing you into one area that you can work in, but actually providing you and teaching you in such a manner that you can transcend a singular major into multiple professional opportunities. So this is just a showcase of where our alums find themselves, and let me just share that we have over 50,000 active alums at Bucknell, and one of the great things that they like to do is provide our Bucknellians opportunities. And so it is our great benefit that our alums set up internships, externships, and job opportunities for our students upon graduation. And so you can see that it transcends multiple professional arenas such as business, education, Harvard Medical School. The one that I really like to draw your attention to is the Home Depot sign. I like to kid that the reason that the sign is orange is because it's one of our school colors. And Kenneth Langone, who is a great benefactor to our university, was the co-founder of Home Depot. So the next time you hit a Home Depot, think Bucknell. And again, you'll see his name emblazoned on our Langone Recreation Center, as well as the Elaine Langone Campus Center. So how to apply to Bucknell? Well, we utilize both the Common App and the Coalition application, either one. And as was mentioned at the start of our presentation, we are test optional, and we became test optional last year. So yeah, we definitely beat the COVID-19 rush to become test optional. And in part, the reason we chose to become test optional is because we really believe that tests are not the only thing that remark on your ability as a student. And so in many respects, a test score is just a data point for you. And so I'm going to share with you in the next slide just how we look at our student applications, because I think it's really important to recognize that you are greater than the sum of your parts. And so many times students will ask, well, what do I need to get on my SAT or ACT scores, or how many AP classes do I need to take in order to be competitive for Bucknell? And my response is always, you know what? Yeah, we like to see students challenge themselves in the classroom. We like to see students seeking to be engaged in intellectual curiosity and challenging their thinking skills and their writing skills. But really what we're looking for is students who are not only doing that, but are really seeking to become the best version of themselves. And you'll often hear our president comment on that. And so Bucknell is a campus that really embraces its students, affords you, as you've already learned, multiple opportunities to be engaged and involved. And so that is what we're looking for in your application. We're looking not only for you to be an active learner in your classrooms, but we're also looking for you to share with us your story. How are you involved? How are you directing your energy? How do you spend your time that has allowed you to pursue your passions, your seeking new opportunities? So we really look for students who bring that with them, because you're going to become a member of our community and we want you to share those with us. The other thing that I also like to share with students is the two elements of your application that really talk to us. One, that is your essay. An essay is a great place to share with us the things that you're passionate about and how you think a school like Bucknell can help you reach those goals and aspirations that you have. And if you're undecided, share with us what interests you do have that we might be able to help you pursue. The other area that I like to draw students' attention to is the teacher and counselor letters. This is another arena of where we get to know about you from people who know you well. And I also encourage students to pick your teacher recs well. Don't just necessarily pick a teacher whose course you got a good grade in, but actually someone who can help support what you've shared with us in your essay. The other thing that Bucknell permits you to do is to identify 2 areas of study that you're particularly interested in, and we really encourage you to do that, because what we'll assess is what you've shared with us that you want to pursue as a potential major, but then also how that's been supported by the classes you've taken, maybe the enterprises and organization or activities that you've been engaged and involved in. And that altogether tells us who the big gray you are in the center. And so those are the things that we really attend to and pay attention to. Let me also further share that we offer you 3 application timelines by which you can submit your application. So our early decision one happens on November 15th. That's the deadline for that application. And again, our ED1 and ED2 application timelines are binding. So a lot of students will ask, if I accept an offer of admission through an ED1 or ED2 offer, does that mean I am committed to Bucknell? Yes, you are. We also offer, as I mentioned, ED2, which is January 15th, and that also coincides with our regular decision application due date, which is also January 15th. So we do not offer early action, nor do we interview. So if that's also a question for me, know that those are no's for you. So the last thing I'm going to just touch upon is our financial aid and scholarship programs. We offer a multitude of scholarship opportunities for students, and recognizing that college is not an inexpensive enterprise for any family, it's an investment in your future, and your families have worked really diligently to get you here, and they're really excited to support you in your future academic pursuits, and so are we. So note that we do offer both need-based and merit-aid scholarships. Our merit scholarships are by application, and students can self-nominate for them. They range in a lot of different ways and in a lot of different arenas. We offer our largest scholarship is our Presidential Fellowship, and this scholarship allows students not only to receive upwards of $30,000 a year to help support their education, but you actually earn a fellowship with this that is paid, where you get to do research with a faculty member, which is very exciting. In order to qualify for any of our scholarships, as well as federal financial aid, students do need to submit their FAFSA, which is the application for federal financial aid, as well as the CSS profile. And for a lot of students and families, this can be a new application. It's through the College Board. And again, the reason we ask students to complete the CSS profile is to provide us a broader and deeper dive to understand what your needs may be in order to attend Bucknell. So that is pretty much what I have to share about Bucknell, and I'm happy to entertain questions at this time.
Thank you, Caro. We have a question. What is the undergrad and graduate population?
Sure. Well, our graduate population I mentioned was 3,600 undergraduate students. We have very limited graduate students. It ranges anywhere from 50 to 60 in any given year, but our primary focus is undergraduate.
Great. Does Bucknell track demonstrated interest?
We do not track demonstrated interest. And so what we like to do is get to know you when we can. And so our admissions counselors previously would travel out to your schools to get to know you through our college visits to your respective high schools. But we also like to see folks on campus. And so for us, that's a way that we get to know you a little bit better, but we don't measure that quantitatively in terms of your interest to attend Bucknell or to apply to Bucknell.
What is the easiest way to get there from airports or trains?
Sure, great question, and a lot of folks ask that. So we are accessible by, we have not only a train station, but also airport in Harrisburg, PA, which is about 55 minutes south of Bucknell. We also provide shuttle service for students to and from both the airport and the train station in Harrisburg, or to the other airport located in Avoca, PA, which is just north of Bucknell and is about, again, about 55-minute drive from campus. We do have a smaller airport in Williamsport, which is about 35 minutes, which typically features charter airlines.
Somebody asked, are there still residential colleges?
Absolutely. So yes, we do offer residential colleges, and I apologize that I didn't get a chance to mention those earlier, but those are featured for our first-year students in the first-year residence halls. And again, that's attenuated to your advising as well. And so they feature different interest areas, and it's really a living learning environment that students get to apply for when they are selecting their housing. And students who are engaged in our residential colleges have the opportunity to not only work with faculty in those living areas, but also really create a smaller community and get to know other students that share a similar interest. So, you know, we have one dedicated to social justice, there's one on food, there's one on environmental studies. So it ranges, and each year we are looking to add new dimensions to that program.
Great. Similar question for housing. Is housing guaranteed on campus for all 4 years, and what percentage of students live on campus?
Another great question. Yes, we guarantee housing all 4 years. We offer students, for first-year students, they typically are housed in traditional housing, which is basically a double or a triple with a shared corridor and lavatory. And as students ascend into their upper years, they have more options. We offer not only housing related to single bed, but also apartment style. So as a junior or senior, you can actually live in your own apartment on campus. And what was the second part of that question?
What percentage of students live on campus? Yeah.
That's great. So basically, because we are a residential university, the expectation is students will live on campus, and it's only about 100 to 150 students who can participate in a lottery process their senior year to request to live off campus. So truly about 98% of our students live on campus.
Are there any academic requirements for admission into different colleges, example, physics and calculus?
For those particular majors?
I'm guessing she means like, or he or she means that, like, do you need physics and calculus? Is that required for engineering versus arts and sciences? But essentially, just are there any different academic requirements to get into different colleges?
Okay, yeah, that makes it a little bit clearer. So yeah, so one of the things that we do look for is our students prepared to go into the areas that they are seeking to major in. So in an arena like engineering, where it is very science and math based, we will be looking for requisite coursework at the high school level that has prepared a student to go into that program. So for instance, a student who is seeking to pursue mechanical engineering, which is very physics oriented, we would want to see physics as one of the sciences completed in high school. We'll also, for engineering, typically the baseline mathematics is calculus, because that is a core learning area for that particular major.
Can you transfer within the 3 academic colleges? What is the cutoff? I don't know what they mean by cutoff, but.
Okay, I'll try my best to answer that. There is transferability between the College of Arts and Sciences and Engineering and out of the Freeman College of Management. Because of its size, the Freeman College of Management has determined that in order to become a student, you need to enter into the college initially. You can't transfer into it after you've already enrolled. So for students who are interested, or, you know, maybe at this point are really thinking about what they want to pursue, but they think management is one of those areas, my recommendation is to apply directly into management, because it's a lot easier if you discover, I don't like it as much, and you can transfer out, but you cannot transfer in. You can transfer between the the College of Arts and Sciences very easily. You can change your major very easily within that college. With respect to engineering, again, understanding that there is some specific core areas that students need to have a background in. If you have those and didn't decide to pursue engineering initially, you can do so during your first year.
Great. What is the GPA average for each college?
Okay. I can't break it down per college, but I can say generally speaking, we average a GPA of about a 3.4 for the majority of our students coming in. It ranges, again, every year, but it's a 3.4 to about a 3.6. I would say it tends to be a little bit higher in the College of Engineering simply because of the rigor in that. And so students typically for that particular college tend to present a little bit higher of a GPA.
I'm guessing that's unweighted, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's Bucknell's overall acceptance rate?
So we typically see about 11,000 applications each year, and we have been averaging anywhere from 28 to 31% admission rate.
All right, some other questions. We have a few from Julia. What is the most popular major in the School of Engineering?
Oh, gosh, that's a hard one. I can tell you that the top three that most students are seeking to come in under are biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, and chemical engineering.
How available are internships and co-ops, if any?
Could you repeat that?
How available are internships and co-ops, if any?
Extraordinarily available. I think, again, as I mentioned, just in terms of our alumni base, they truly, truly are active. When I say that they make things available for our students, that is no overstatement. Students can obtain internships as soon as the end of their first year, and many students do. We have a Center for Career Advancement that will work with students over the course of their first year all the way through their senior year to ensure that, one, they are prepared to go into an internship. They will do mock interviews, resume reviews, help you prepare your documents. They will also sponsor career fairs in the fall and the spring, multiple ones, depending on the areas of interest that you might have. Many companies come to campus to meet and select our students. And I will tell you, it's not uncommon for students to not only get internships domestically, but also internationally. I can share just last summer, my research assistant obtained an internship in Ireland, wherein he worked with the Freeman College of Management in a study away program, wherein he took classes for 3 weeks, and then through those classes was placed in an internship with an Irish company, and he got to work firsthand with them for 3 to 4 weeks. Subsequently, that experience alone obtained him over the winter break, an internship in New York City, and then a second one in Washington, D.C. So again, it's our desire to afford students great opportunities, and we're very, very fortunate to have an alumni base that is very eager to support our students in that regard.
Looking at some other questions. What percentage of graduates pursue master and PhD programs?
It depends on the programs. I can share with you one that we often will get inquiries about is medical school. Allow me to share that if that is an area that you are interested in pursuing, we actually have a pre-health advisor through our our Center for Career Advancement who will work with you to prepare you for those tests. And applications into that arena. Presently, from the 2019 data suggested that 76% of our students applied and got into medical school. We'll see students applying to all different arenas. I don't have that data in front of me right now, but you can actually go onto our website, and that's available for you. It will showcase for you where our students navigate with their degrees, understanding that, again, I'll plug interdisciplinarity. You know, many students will inquire, do I need to have, let's say, a political science major in order to go to law school? And we're like, absolutely not. The kind of learning that you will learn at Bucknell will prepare you for any industry that you're seeking to go into. And it's evidenced by our placement rates. It's evidenced by students getting into graduate school. And so I encourage students to just check into our Center for Career Advancement for that directed information.
Great. Geographically, where do most students at Bucknell come from? I assume all 50 states and many countries. What are the top 3 to 5 states, and what is the international population?
Sure. So we see about, from our international enrollment, about 10% of our students come from abroad, primarily from China, Japan, and I want to say Vietnam has kind of risen to the 3rd place marker. In terms of domestically, I would say many students come to us from our neighbors like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Ohio, Maryland. We actually have admissions counselors housed in the Florida area and California, so we're seeing a real increase of students coming to us from the West Coast and the South. We also see a big percentage coming to us from Texas. So yeah, I would say that we have seen a lot of increases in students coming to us from a lot of different states. But as a small institution, we tend to see a lot of folks from PA as well as our border states.
Awesome. Is there Greek life, and could you talk about it?
Absolutely. So Greek life is very popular at Bucknell. We have a really distinctive process for students to pursue Greek life. Students are ineligible to apply for Greek life until after their 1st year. So you may basically what is called rush a Greek fraternity or sorority in your sophomore year. And with that, students will undertake our Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life schedules basically how that is run each fall. And students basically have the opportunity to visit each particular organization to understand not only its mission, kind of what it's about, and then they are invited to interview for that process. And so currently we have 8 sororities and fraternities on campus. They represent about 50% of our student body. And again, they have, our male fraternities do have houses on campus that after a student joins the organization, they're eligible to live in Greek housing. And our female sororities are housed in one of our largest residence halls, Hunt Hall, and each one has their own distinctive area in Hunt Hall. And I think what's really neat about our sororities is they really act as a sisterhood, so that if you are a member of one sorority, you are still engaged and active with the other sororities because you're living together in the same residence hall. So it's a really neat feature. And I think, you know, in terms of Greek life, you know, oftentimes folks will ask, well, do I have to belong to a Greek organization to have to be engaged and involved on campus? And again, what I often say is, while a large percentage of our students do go Greek, they're also equally involved in a lot of other enterprises on campus. And so it's not atypical to see students join a fraternity or sorority but still really be active in other organizations, athletics, and again, different opportunities on campus.
Thanks. And I think we just have one last question about study abroad. And Laura just asked if you could describe a little bit more about studying abroad.
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, Bucknell offers over 500 different programs. We have a Center for Global Education that manages that for students. And as of this past year, students are now eligible to study abroad after their first semester. So they can apply in their first semester to seek to go in their second semester of their first year. Most students typically go fall semester of their junior year, and in part it's because by the second semester of your sophomore year, you have had to declare your course of study. And so then once they've determined that, they often find that junior year is a great time to be able to go abroad for a semester. You can go abroad for as long as a year or as short as 3 weeks. And so we offer opportunities both for fall and spring semester. We have a variety of study abroad programs in the summer that range anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. And again, with our Bucknell In program, students actually are selected for that program, not only by our Center for Global Education, but they also work with the faculty member. And those are typically theme-oriented. So for instance, a friend and colleague of mine who was in the English department took a group of students to England to study the poetry of Shakespeare. And so the enterprise, while it was focused in London, students got to travel to all these different countries to really learn about how poetry is expressed in their countries. So for instance, they studied Burns in Scotland, and they went to France and were exposed to that. And so again, the Bucknell In program, the probably neat feature of that program is that you're earning Bucknell credits. So by going on a Bucknell In program, you are guaranteed that the courses that you are undertaking therein are Bucknell courses. Whereas if you go with another type of outfit, study abroad outfit, sometimes there can be some complexity in having your credits transferred or having courses that will meet Bucknell credit. So again, our Center for Global Education will actually work with you and vet with you what program would be best for you. And then again, for instance, for students who might be undertaking, let's say, global management in the Freeman College of Management, they will work within the Freeman College of Management because it is an internationally based kind of global program to do their study away program through not only the college, but then they will work also with our Center for Global Education. So hopefully that explains it a little bit better.
Great. And then just one last quick question about percentage of students that are varsity athletes and how big of a culture athletics is on campus.
I wish, again, I had those numbers for you, but I will say we admit about, what's our latest count of athletes? We typically bring in over 100 student athletes each year. And so in terms of athletic endeavors, as I mentioned, we offer 27 NCAA Division I sports. And so sports are a constant on campus. And so we see folks coming out for football, basketball. Our men's basketball team, often has made it to the big dance of March Madness. Unfortunately, in these last few years, they haven't made it very far, but at least we like to crow that we made it to the dance. And our women's basketball team actually has won the Patriot League Championship now 4 years in a row. So they are dynamic. We have our own golf course on campus, so if golfing is something you're interested in, it's recreational, but it's also one of our sports. We have baseball, we have wrestling, we have swimming and diving. So truly, if athletics is something that you want to pursue, both at the competitive level or just because you enjoy it, you're going to be able to find it here.
Thank you, Caro. Any more information that you'd like to provide? Where can students contact you if they want? This has been really informative, and we really appreciate your time.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Well, I can provide you my email address. I can be reached at Caro, C-A-R-O .mercado, M-E-R-C-A-D-O, at bucknell.edu. You can also log into our Bucknell admissions website. And one of the things I'll just end with is I encourage students to really reach out to their admissions counselor. And because I am currently covering parts of northern New Jersey, for some of you, I will be your admissions counselor. But again, I encourage students just to meet your respective counselor and introduce yourself. It's a great way for us to make a connection, for them to be able to answer your questions particularly, as well as letting you know when, for this year, I'm assuming we'll be doing a lot of virtual visits, so when we will be in contact with your high school to be engaged with you and get to know you.
Great, thank you, and thanks for taking the time. Sorry I didn't have my camera on. I didn't know if you wanted to see the Jersey Turnpike as I'm a passenger in the car. So I do appreciate it, and everyone did, and thanks again. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see many of you, if not on campus, through a virtual visit into the future. So continued success. I wish you well as your schools prepare to open during this uncertainty, and I certainly trust that you will stay well and healthy along with your loved ones. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Bye.